32 minutes before the closing bell rings, the Dow down about 50. We have gold moving higher at $1,291 a troy ounce. Pitching the heartland, President Trump is in New Orleans trying to calm concerns of some of his most loyal supporters. The country's farmers were suffering from both the trade wars and now the longest partial government showdown in U.S. history. Tariffs put in place by the Chinese government in retaliation to U.S. tariffs that were first slapped on China's goods have made selling crops such as soybeans nearly impossible. The partial government shutdown, now in day 24, has slowed relief payments these farmers were promised in order to feed their families while they wait for a deal to perhaps come through. Let's get to Deirdre Bolton, who listened and watched for reaction at the annual American Farm Bureau Federation convention. Deirdre, what's the mood after his speech?
The mood after his speech, Liz, was very positive. So President Trump, during his 45-minute, a little bit more or less, speech really had moments where you had the crowd on its feet. And by the crowd, I mean the farmers and the ranchers that you were just talking about. A lot of these people have been affected personally. Their businesses have been affected, but they still overall, in the majority, support President Trump and support what the administration has done. I caught up with one cattle rancher. He owns about 6,000 acres in Utah, so he's raising beef. So he said he is not quite as affected as, for example, some of his colleagues who farm soybeans. But here's what he told us.
We are feeling it a little bit because in the trade, they aren't moving as much beef throughout the world as we would like to. And we would like to get that trade going with Asia.
So, Liz, he describes his land as being 75 miles from the nearest gallon of milk. Now, some of the soybean farmers that I spoke to off camera, they were a little bit more muted. Their businesses have been affected. They say, listen, we've been made whole by the U.S. government this year, but it is quite clear that they do not want these U.S.-China trade tensions to extend too much longer. I asked what they would tell the president if they were in a closed room with him, and the answer was short, crisp, and clear. Just keep talking. Liz.
Yeah, I'm looking at soybeans. They're down about 1% today. We're looking at, corn, sugar. Lots of this stuff is down. It's a hard time. I know that, but at some point, some of them at least understand that the president is taking a stand for an obvious reason. Correct, Deirdre?
That is exactly right. That is the way they feel, even when their businesses are literally threatened. But they do believe in the message. They do believe in what President Trump is doing. I had more than a few say to me, listen, China has taken advantage of this country, I'm just quoting farmers here, for years. And we are glad to have a president who not only speaks tough, but who acts tough. But as you know, you're just talking about those soybean prices. I mean, that is our greatest agri-export, $19 billion worth if you average how much we've actually exported in the past 5 years. And listen, we have competition, right? Brazil has sold more and more soybeans to China.
Very true.
And nobody,
Argentina.
more than the people in this room, are aware of that.
Yeah, when we were down in Argentina for the G20, they were silently cheering this on because they've been the beneficiary. A lot of their crops are being bought. Deirdre, thank you very much. Deirdre Bolton.